I told a nursing home patient my DNA results, and she started sobbing. I took one of those stupid at-home DNA ancestry tests because my roommate got one on sale and I didn't want to be left out. When she started bragging about being 4% Viking or whatever, I spit in a tube, mailed it off, and forgot about it. The results said it would take 6 to 8 weeks. Cool, I'd either discover I was related to George Washington or that all my ancestors lived within the same 40-mile radius forever. Around that same time, I needed 20 service hours for my intro to psych class. My professor suggested a nursing home a few blocks from campus. It's good exposure, she said. You'll learn a lot about aging. I was expecting bingo, medication alarms, and that smell all old buildings have. What I wasn't expecting was Ms. May. May was maybe in her late 70s. Tiny as a bird, with hair like snow and eyes sharp as polished glass. She didn't talk much when I first started, just hummed old songs that sounded like lullabies from a different century. The staff told me she had early dementia. Good days and bad days, one nurse said, but she's sweet as sugar. We bonded over puzzles and peppermint candies. Sometimes she'd drift in and out, staring at the window like the sky owed her an explanation. And every once in a while, always quietly, always like a secret, she'd say the same sentence. They took my baby girl. First time she said it, I thought she meant the staff misplaced her doll or something. But then she'd follow it with 16 years old. They took her, said it was for the best, and then she'd close up again. Like someone had zipped her memory shut. I didn't ask. It felt too private, too raw. I just changed the subject and helped her sort puzzle pieces by color. Weeks went by. I kept coming back on Saturdays even after I hit my required hours. I'd sit with May while she talked about jazz records, soda counters, and riding in the back of pickup trucks to the lake before seatbelts. Ruined all the fun. She never mentioned a husband or siblings. Never mentioned parents. Just the missing baby girl. Then one Tuesday night, as I was procrastinating an essay, my phone buzzed. Your ancestry results are ready. I opened the app expecting a fun distraction. Instead, I nearly yeeted my laptop off the bed. Immediate family match, 50%. Shared DNA, parent, child, or sibling. The name underneath wasn't my mom, who had already done one of these tests years ago. It also wasn't my dad. It was a woman named Margaret M. Hale. I stared at that name so long my eyes burned. I didn't know any Margaret Hale. We didn't have extended family. My mom always said her parents died young, and we never talked about it. I clicked the profile. There was barely any info except age range, estimated birth year, and location. My college town. I swear my blood turned to static. The next day at the nursing home, I couldn't focus. I kept glancing at May, at her hands, at her eyes, wondering if I was being insane. Finally, during lunch, I blurted, May, what was your full name? Before you were married? She blinked at me like I'd asked her to do calculus. Then clear as a bell, she said, Margaret May Hale. My fork hit the table hard. I couldn't breathe or blink or function. I went home and confronted my parents on FaceTime because I couldn't wait for Thanksgiving level trauma scheduling. My mom's face drained of color. Dad immediately asked who told me what. That told me everything. After 10 minutes of chaos and swearing and me threatening to drive to Utah for answers, my mom finally broke. She was adopted at birth. Her biological mother was 16 and sent to a maternity home for girls in trouble. My mom was told the birth mother didn't want contact. The birth mother was told the baby was going to a better life. Neither of those statements were true. They were just convenient. I felt sick, like the floor tilted. My mom started crying. I didn't know she was alive, she whispered. I didn't know she ever looked for me. And what absolutely shattered me was knowing that for months, I'd sat beside a woman who whispered, they took my baby girl, and no one ever answered her back. The next Saturday, I walked into the nursing home with my mom at my side. She was shaking so hard I had to keep her steady. The staff led us into May's room, then quietly backed out. May was in her chair, humming some old song. Then she looked up. Really looked. My mom opened her mouth, but no sound came out. So I said it for both of them. May, your baby girl survived? May's whole face trembled. She reached for my mom's cheek with a hand that had to fight its way through 60 years of sorrow. My mom leaned into the touch like she'd been waiting her whole life for it. My Margaret, May said, tears spilling. No, my mom whispered, smiling through hers. I'm yours. They sat there holding on to each other like gravity didn't matter, like the universe had taken its sweet time, but finally got one thing right. And that night, for the first time, May didn't say, they took my baby girl. She said, they brought her back.